Dan Pena is founder of Quantum Leap Advantage, the revolutionary method for super success with over 23 years of proven track record that has produced more than $50 billion of equity and value. Born in the barrio of East LA, not very far from here, Dan turned $800 into $450 million with his oil business in only 8 years. Today, he's the owner of Guthrie Castle in Scotland, where he lives and holds all of his QLA and hardcore seminars, in which I personally attended last summer in 2016. So, the first question I was actually talking about with some of the people here. I was going to start off with the 800 to 450 million, but someone brought it up and everyone was like, I want to hear about that story. You killed a bear with your bare hands. Is that?
Well, not exactly.
Okay.
I finished him off with a knife with my bare hands, but I slowed him down with a 4.54 console, which at that time was the largest handgun known to man, and each slug was about as big as my thumb. But then I jumped on him while he was still alive, and you don't really remember because it was such a frenzy. Your adrenaline's pumping so hard. I remember stabbing this guy 200 times. And he's standing in the trophy room today.
Yeah, you can still see him there.
Yeah, all those 200 things in the bullet holes are off, but he's there.
How did that happen? Like, how did that begin?
Well, as you'll see, a lot of the guys that have made a reasonable amount of money, they look for adrenaline rushes because the thrill of the deal is not thrill anymore. You know, like I lived in an era pre-AIDS that if a guy that was even reasonably good looking didn't get more ass than a toilet seat at a bus station, you should kill yourself. So, I mean, the thrill of the hunt. So after I'd done several hundred deals, I was looking for adrenaline rush. So I started big game hunting. Big hunting, most people start with a rifle, and I did as well. But that's like very much like kissing your sister. If you can't kill an animal, and I don't kill anything now, but if you can't kill an animal at a couple hundred meters, then you ought to, blow your own brains out. So then I moved on to handguns. And I started using 4.54 console, which at that time was the biggest handgun. And this was in from about 84, 5 till the early 90s. That was my big game period. And you wanted the adrenaline rush because you have to get closer with a handgun. I mean, to kill something with a handgun, they can't be any more than beyond that door. That's it. And there's always the chance if you're hunting things that can hunt back, that you're going to get hurt. And then that got pretty easy because I am a really good shot, or at least I was then. And so then I started adding Crocodile Dundee, which just came out, that movie. And I said, well, hell, I ought to be able to do that. And so I started using a knife, which I still have. I have several of them, where you slow them down, and then you jump on them. Sometimes dogs help you slow them down. Like wild boar, you go slow down by a pack of dogs that you hunt with. And then you get your adrenaline rush because they're still alive. They can still swipe you, they can still bite you. They can do some pretty ugly things. But then that got old. And so then I started instinct shooting. Instinct shooting is where you hunt with your eyes closed or in the dark. And I went to Argentina, and we were hunting puma or mountain lions, you call them in this country, in caves with no lights, and your guide doesn't go in, and you listen for it, and your instinct. And your instincts are really good. And so I have those trophies. Didn't get hurt. And then I tried hunting from horseback like in the movies. That's all horse shit. You can't hit anything from horseback. And so, but I had to do it myself. And so I didn't kill anything from horseback. Other than fall off and break my neck a few times. Because, I mean, it's just impossible. But in the movies, they can do it. Yeah. But in the movies, they can do anything. In the movies, you guys even get laid. And it is funny. You're right. You should laugh. Yeah.
Well, you might be speaking to a unique audience here.
Well, okay. Well, they don't look that unique to me, but it's all right. Okay.
So, you mentioned the hunting dogs, and I just thought of this. I remember when we were one-on-one at the castle, there were 2 dogs on the couch next to you.
Correct.
And there was, in the castle, you guys walk into the dining hall, right before the dining hall, when we have drinks before dinner. there's a massive painting on the wall of you and your hound.
Correct.
You had that painting made, correct? I remember in the castle that there was something about self-image and self-esteem in the painting.
Correct.
Can you talk about that real quick?
Yeah. I had that painting was painted in 1986 through 7, and it was painted by arguably the finest portrait painter in the world, a guy named Howard Morgan. He's still alive. And that painting won the National Academy of something or other World Championship, and it toured around the world for 18, 20 months. And but that's how I saw myself before I had a pot to piss in. I saw myself strutting around my estate, wearing riding boots and carrying a riding crop, with an ascot, and with my trusty dog Billon at the time. And but that's how I pictured myself as to, vis-a-vis my goals and my affirmations. And so then I had it painted, and it's a 10-foot painting, 10 feet high, and it sits in the drawing room, as you saw. And in fact, you were interviewed for the little testimony you gave right in front of that painting. It was standing right in front of it. Yeah.
Because one thing that I teach a lot is the self-esteem and the self-image thing, and it struck me that a lot of people who are successful, they see themselves as larger than life even before they succeed.
Correct.
And that's exactly what happened here.
Correct. And the problem with self-esteem, or the challenge, not the problem, is that most people, self-esteem is built the first 7 or 8 years of life. Now, who are you with the first 7 or 8 years of life? Mommy, maybe daddy, an older brother, a grandparent, right? Well, if love got the job done, kids, you wouldn't be fucking sitting here. Love doesn't get the fucking job done. Love has never got the job done. But even if those people did a good job for you those first 7 or 8 years, then show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Okay, so who are the meatheads, the 3 or 4 or 5 people that you go out for a drink with? I say if you go to sports bars and you belch and you fart, you're going to be belching and farting in a sports bar 35 years from now. And so it's self-esteem is the basis of all excellence. Self-esteem, Donald Trump, whether you hate him or love him, Elon Musk, all these guys have tremendous self-esteem. Somebody did something right when they were growing up. Somebody did something right. And most parents, unfortunately, for arguably the most important thing we're brought on the planet for, procreation, we don't know a fucking thing about it. We don't know anything about it. And so, but my parents did some things, some by accident, some by planning, that built my self-esteem. But and what he teaches and coaches and mentors you in is incredibly important for the rest of your life, because you all look relatively young to me.
So let's say someone, first 7 years of their life, doesn't have a good environment, what can they do now? Like, what's the most important thing they need to be doing if they need to build themselves?
Show me your friends, I'll show you your future. I mean, the guys that, first of all, high performance, high self-esteem people don't hang out. They don't go to the fucking Super Bowl. They don't go to the Dodger games. They don't go to the Laker games. They still got those teams there? Yeah, okay. They don't do any of those things. Eagles fly alone. I have no friends. Friends are problems. Friends are challenges. If you aren't into yourself, and that means something else now than what I mean. If you're not into yourself enough that you can't spend the weekend by yourself, then something's fucking wrong with you. Vis-a-vis self-esteem, being a high-performance person, and accomplishing high-performance acts, something's wrong with you. I know high-performance people, and I use myself as an example. For 10 years, I spent at the compound. There were weeks I never stepped out of the castle into the fresh air. Weeks went by. Now, yeah, it's a big place, but I mean weeks. Months went by, I never left the fucking compound. Months. Didn't talk to anybody. And none of the things that you require or consider as part of your natural life, high-performance people don't do. They just don't do. They don't have the need, and I put the word need in quotes. They don't have the need to be around other people. the strength in numbers. That's what you're taught. That's wrong. If you're going to be a weak cunt, that's right. There's strength in numbers. If you want to be a weak cunt, that's great. But if you want to be something other than a weak cunt, then you're by yourself. Does Elon Musk give a shit what you think about him? Only to the extent that you buy his fucking electric cars. I mean, but other than that, he doesn't give a shit. Did Steve Jobs give a shit? No. Does Ellison of Oracle give a shit? No. Does Gates or Zuckerberg or anything? No. And obviously the president doesn't give a shit either. So I mean, so how do you stack up against those people? You don't. You don't. And I wonder. I was reading emails on this morning when I got up, and I still don't understand why people buy all this shit from these fucking morons. I just don't get it. I mean, Walt Disney's older brother, Roy Disney, told me about 50 years ago, when value is clear, decisions are easy. When value is clear, decisions are easy. Okay? And if it takes you more than a microsecond to decide to buy something, value's not clear. It just isn't. And if you ran your life on the precept of value is clear, then I can make a decision easily, quickly, not procrastinate, not spreadsheet it to death. If you're not doing that, then you're obviously, to my way of thinking, not leading a high-performance life.
So do you think the people, because you mentioned it, who are out there and they're buying these programs that promise them to get the life of their dreams, the steps and push a button and all that shit, do you think the people buying that's most self-esteem people who are attracted?
Correct. No, okay. This is a great point. I don't mean you, maybe you, people in general, they think that reading a book is taking action. They think listening to a podcast is taking action. They think a video or whatever it is taking action. No! That's fucking procrastination. So you don't have to make a decision. So you don't have to pull the trigger. I mean, there's a big, huge difference. Take action. As we were taught, just fucking do it. I mean, Dalai Lama had his 80th birthday last year. Some of my mentees were invited. I wasn't. The Dalai, he doesn't know me, or maybe he does know me, but he didn't invite me. In his closing remarks, and it's one of the slides that you got, it's that praying is fine, meditation is fine, a bunch of other shit is fine, but it's take action, take action, take action that is the only thing that counts. It's the fucking Dalai. Saint Teresa, who I put my money on when she was just a goddamn Mother Teresa. Same thing. Take action, take action, take action. Otherwise it's bullshit. You can pray, you can do all those things, but take action is the thing that differentiates you from everybody else. You're sitting here because of something that happened to you in your life. It wasn't a good thing. You don't seek out professional help if your life was good. You seek out professional help because you're a cunt. And you don't want to be a cunt anymore. I have people like you for fucking breakfast. And the guys that I know, I mean, some of them, they say they can eat me for breakfast, which is bullshit, but they think they can eat me for breakfast. I mean, the whole idea of, we had a kid attend a seminar, and I said this when I spoke at Oxford last year, that had read 640 books.